What's up, everybody? What's up, babe?
Nothing.
Nothing at all, huh?
I'm here.
We are, welcome, everybody, first of all. One of our, everybody starts these New Year's resolutions every year, and one of mine, I guess, or ours, or I drug Maddie into it, was to start our Bible study back up for the year on before the Echo. And me and Maddie do, like, probably, we both read our Bibles separately to get a lot.
Yeah.
But like we don't do a great job of doing it together.
Yeah.
Like we talk about it together, but we don't like have a set, like this is what we're going to go through this week and talk about it together. I mean, obviously we're constantly talking about God or the Bible, but this was a good way for us to kind of force ourselves to study the Bible together. And then also, like, if y'all at home want to have your wives watch this with you or just do it yourself with us, that'd be great. But that's not what Maddie is really into, like homesteading, gardening, what else? Canning.
Yeah. I don't know.
That's it. and we may just kind of touch on some of that stuff too, and just some of the family stuff with the boys and whatnot, and maybe talk about hunting a little bit just because it's me on here.
And how it all relates together, kind of.
Yeah. So we're going to try to do them. We're going to try to do them every Sunday. I don't know. We're just going to see how it goes, see how people like them, and go from there. But you got anything else to add to that?
No.
She's like, Dan, not a whole lot of words.
Yeah. Either that or too many words, but yeah.
Yeah. So we were taught, or I guess I made the decision we're going to start in the book of James is what we were thinking about starting with. So if you guys want to follow along with us in this study, that's where we're going to start at. But I guess before we start, because, I don't know how long we'll probably try to go for 45 minutes or an hour, but like, I was on just like New Year. So like, I guess what would you like to get out of this?
Like you said, I do well with a schedule, more of a schedule or a plan. So just kind of, if we have it scheduled, I will probably do better about my consistency with reading the Bible and studying it, and actually like trying to focus on what I'm reading. And also just to know, like, give me a what to read, because it's kind of hard just jumping into the Bible, I think, and starting somewhere. So I've read, started with the Gospels and have read through most of that, but then kind of just going from there. So it gives me a little more guidance on where to go from there.
Yeah. But anyway, we're excited about doing this. I'm excited about doing this. I hope people get some stuff out of it. And then, like, some things you're wanting to do, you're talking to me about. Sorry, our dang poodle is driving us.
You want me to?
Yeah, let's let him in here. He's scratching at the door. I don't know if you can hear that or not, but she's wanting to do more like herb garden. What else are you wanting to do this year? So we have a big garden. I've showed it on this channel before, and we always do probably like a C+ job on it by the time it's
we have
all
great
said.
Intentions, great thoughts, and then when it comes to the actions, we start out strong and then it peters out a little bit.
Dude, a garden is just like a lot of work.
Yeah.
It's
It coincides, too, with some of my other favorite pastimes, which are taking little trips and adventures. So, like, you kind of have to be around to keep the weeds out and to harvest when it comes. So sometimes it gets to the point where I'm like, okay, I'm done. I just want to do other things or whatever. So
you gotta. So, like, growing up, my grandpa kept a garden, my grandpa and grandma, and it was like immaculate. It was awesome. Big, weedless, all that stuff. And, what I guess I didn't realize back then or thinking about it was like they were retired. They didn't have kids in the house. They never went on vacation. They didn't like spend money. So, they didn't go on vacation or anything. They just piddled in the garden and kept the weeds out of it, and everything was beautiful and all that. So you just do the best you can with that kind of thing. Yeah. I guess.
Yeah. What I want to do more of this year, I actually got for Christmas a book called, I think it was 250, I don't know. It's an apothecary book. So doing more like home.
That's a big word for me.
Home remedies
I don't know what that means.
and like medicinal like herbal medicinal things like that. So trying to grow some of that stuff so then I can kind of piddle with some of that would be nice. I'm always, I don't know, I try to do a more holistic approach to stuff. So just learning more and doing more of that stuff at home is kind of what I'm wanting to do more of this year and going forward. Yeah.
That's your department. I just support it as much as I can. Yeah, I'm excited. I want to get a 4-foot tiller for my tractor. That's the only thing that I really want before gardening season starts. So if anybody has a 4-foot tiller they want to sell, let me know. I had one on Facebook Marketplace I found, but I wasn't there in time.
Quick enough.
Someone else. We're always doing something, so it's hard for me to get on top of things. But yeah, we like to take hunting trips and family trips, and then the garden ends up suffering for it. But oh well.
We usually get something out of it, though.
Yeah. We got a bunch out of it.
Yeah. It either things do too well where I just can't keep up with it, or we just don't have luck with things.
You get
sometimes,
so sick of it too.
Yeah.
Or I do at least. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
But I did a pretty good job of keeping weeds out of it this year.
Yeah, we kept it pretty simple this year, though, because there was only a few things I wanted for sure to get out of it.
It's usually tomatoes. You get overwhelmed by tomatoes. It's like,
because they will just keep coming and keep coming and keep coming. But we use a lot of them both as they grow, but also I try to can and juice a bunch, and we do use all of it usually.
We didn't can enough this year.
No, I got tired of canning. Yeah, I started freezing some, so we do still have some in the freezer, and then we ate a bunch off of it while they were still growing into the fall. Even we left them, and I would go out there and pick just for the boys to snack on, or for salads, and for I don't know, dinners when we just needed a few tomatoes or something like that. But the canning stopped because it was a lot of work. But
we shouldn't. Deer meat's going to be close again this year. I killed 5 deer this year, but 4. We had 4 last year and we ran out. So I don't know. Hopefully 5 gets us to September of next year again. But I don't know. I'd like to have killed 6. I don't know. I may end up getting one. I may go to the reduction zone or something.
You also could go hard during turkey season and get us a couple turkeys.
Yeah. All right.
Give us 2 more meals. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, right. That's about how turkeys. You don't really get a lot out of them.
Yeah.
At all.
Or I guess I could get a turkey too. Another turkey. Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely want you to turkey hunt this year.
Yeah.
I know you want to also. As long as you can let him out. Okay. Now he wants to go outside. Sorry, guys. Okay, he's old. He's like 11 years old, and he plays these tricks on you where he wants your attention, so he'll just get up and go stand by the door, so you'll get up and mess with him.
Okay.
He's outside now, so he'll probably stay out there and bark now. But, all right. Enough of that. Well, this is stuff we're going to talk about on this podcast. And maybe just a little bit of kid stuff or what's going on, what we're thinking about there. I know what we could talk about. Maybe you're not comfortable talking about it, but you want to talk about the Santa Claus thing?
Yeah, we can.
I don't know.
Why would I be uncomfortable?
I don't know. People. So this is something that we'll get into the Bible study as soon as we can too. But this is something that me and Maddie have struggled with the last few years, and that is the Santa Claus thing with Hawke.
Yeah.
Right.
You want me to expand on that?
You can. Yeah, I can too. But go ahead.
No, it's I don't know. He really gets into that Christmas in general, but he was always really into Santa Claus, and then he was getting into the elf thing. We don't do an elf on the shelf or anything like that, but just like the whole story behind Santa and elves and all of that.
If there's any kids all around right now, you may not let them listen to all this. Not that it's bad, but we don't want to spoil anything for anybody.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I didn't think about that. So
anyways, no, it's fine. It's fine. It is what it is.
So anyways, one thing we focused on this year a little bit was bringing more attention to the true meaning of Christmas. So a couple of things that we did differently this year, and that I hope to continue in future years, is we did start, I put together our own Advent wreath. And we started doing Advent readings every night. Now I looked up a couple schedules or plans. They were a little too advanced for
a 6-year-old.
Yeah, Hawke to because I really wanted him to be attentive the whole time. So we just started reading through Luke, the story, up until the birth of Jesus, which we did on Christmas Eve. So that was one thing that I liked, and it helped. Just every night at dinner we would do it. They liked the candles, we would light the candles. They'd want to blow them out, and then we would just talk about, I would just read a couple verses. We talk about what we thought it meant, and then we'd say a little prayer that went along with that. So that was one thing that we did. And then also just some other little silly things that I do around the house to kind of keep the magic big at Christmas time, just so when the time came to be truthful about everything.
Yeah, the whole Santa Claus thing, we always struggle with it because the kids get so focused on that they can't even hardly think about anything else.
Yeah.
Like it's all about the gifts and what Santa Claus is going to bring and this guy, and in my opinion, as a kid, Jesus is like the farthest thing from your mind, and I just don't think that's good. I think we can beat it into their heads that Jesus is the reason that we're celebrating this, but whenever you have that hanging over them, they're not capable of realizing, what they're just kids. Like they can't.
Yeah.
So we explained to Huck that, the idea of Santa Claus is a good one. And it's a very, Saint Nicholas was a saint that did all these good things for people and brought gifts to the needy, or whatever the story of Santa Claus is. But I said, but he's physically it's not a real thing that someone comes and actually, sneaks down our chimney and gives us presents.
It's more of the spirit of Santa Claus, not the actual being, not what you're picturing in your head.
And that we can always pretend that it's okay to pretend that Santa Claus is a thing and all that.
And we probably will still be, especially with
Hayes
being young, just because it's fun.
But another thing is like around his age is whenever he's in school now for 8 hours every single day. Like kids are gonna go let him in. Kids are going to he's gonna find out like real quick. And I wanted us to be the one that explained it to him, not a buddy at school.
Because who knows what their explanation would have been and how impactful that would have been to him.
Well, that, and it's like you're kind of, whether you agree with me with this or not, you are lying to them. Like you're just lying about. You're really playing a big prank on them.
Yeah.
And that's all. I've always struggled with that a little bit. Like just like looking at him in the face and lying to him about what's happening or what, I don't know. It's just a weird thing for me. But we felt like as a Christian family that was the right thing to do. So that's what we did. Not saying you have to like at all. That's not what we're saying. It's just a decision we made. But best part of the whole funniest thing that happened was Christmas morning, Patrick, who used to do these Bible studies with me, he texted me, he said, did Jesus bring presents this morning or did Santa Claus? Because me and him were talking about it too, about if, how long to let the Santa Claus thing run. But anyway, yeah. So that was something that we did that was a lot different.
Yeah.
I don't know. He was pretty shocked.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it was hard to tell him because it felt like a little bit of his innocence was taken away from him, but it is what it is.
Yeah, like at first I was like, oh, I don't know if that was the right decision. But then as the day went on, the next day, like actual Christmas happened and stuff, and it was like nothing happened essentially. So I think it'll be, better.
Yeah. You remember whenever you found out Santa Claus wasn't real?
I don't really, because I honestly don't really remember believing, because I was the youngest. Yeah, you had
quite a lot older siblings.
Yeah, so they probably told me, and I'm also observant and intuitive, so I probably just guessed it and then just was like,
I was sitting. I was probably a first grader, which is just a year older than Huck is right now. But my buddy Clint told me. I was sitting in our house we were at a computer, like a little computer desk thing. Mm-hmm. And I don't know what happened. I asked him about Santa Claus and he's like, well, Santa Claus ain't real. I'm like, what? Like, what are you talking about? So, yeah, that's funny. Yeah. All right. That was it. That's about all that's exciting that happened over Christmas. It was a good Christmas this year.
Yeah. And New Year.
Mm-hmm. We also didn't do as many gifts and did a trip. We did a Great Wolf Lodge. We went and stayed there for a few nights, 2 nights, I guess, 3 days, which was good.
Yeah, the kids like that. I'm big about
experiences.
Experiences as part of their gifts. So we have done that a few different times for birthdays and Christmas and stuff. Those kind of things.
So if you're struggling with that Santa Claus thing, I don't know, maybe that helped you, maybe it didn't. We all survived we survived it, and life went on. So
yeah.
But Hayes, we'll let him have a little bit of fun with it and go from there.
Yeah. Decide.
Huck is just getting old enough to where he understands religion a little bit and Jesus, and it was just time for him to focus on. And, he's doing in church. He's starting to settle down in church and sit there, and he can start wrapping his head around things a little bit better. I feel like whenever they can start doing that, that's probably when it's time to
separate the two.
Yeah, separate the two pretty abruptly.
Yeah.
Like I said, it was important for me to tell him and not a buddy at school. James, the book of James.
So I had some thoughts that
Well, wait a second. It's a short.
No, I'm saying before we even get into this.
Okay.
Just because I've not been on here for this before, do we want to talk about kind of any of my background or?
No.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
Or I also wanted to ask you the question in general, when reading your Bible and doing your Bible studies, kind of what your mindset is or what you're looking for or kind of what you're hoping to get out of it. I just had some thoughts of that on my own, and it may be different. I just maybe they are different, and that may give some perspective onto the things that I noted or highlighted or talk about versus you.
Yeah. So whenever I'm reading my Bible, I'm only focused on how am I going to be more like Jesus? That's what I focus on.
Yeah.
I don't dabble. I dabble in the Old Testament a little bit just to read and learn, but I do most of my reading in the New Testament. I like to read the Sermon on the Mount a lot. I've read that several times. That's what I focus on, is just try not to be selfish about it. It's more like, how can I kill the old me and become more like Jesus? That's what I focus on whenever I'm reading.
Yeah. I'd say mine is very similar, but I guess background for me a little bit. So I'm going to say I grew up with knowledge of God and Jesus and religion. I actually went to a Catholic grade school, but we were not members of the church. It was just kind of a local school that was good for us. So obviously I had religion class there and we had to go to mass, but so I say I had knowledge, but I don't know that I had a relationship necessarily with God until later in life, probably in high school when I met you and started doing more with your family. And then with the Bible in particular, I never really read it for knowledge or even recreation or anything outside of that Catholic grade school until I was older as well. So I don't have very much background knowledge before reading, besides your basic, what I'm going to call nursery stories or rhymes that you learn maybe in Sunday school or Bible school.
Yeah, I went to Noah's Ark. And
right.
Yeah.
So I went to some vacation Bible schools, and I went to, Sunday school when I was going to church here and there. But when I was young, so I knew some of those basic stories, but I don't have a lot of knowledge overall of the scripture, of the actual words in the Bible outside of things that I've heard or seen outside, if that makes sense. So when I'm reading, a lot of it is new to me, but I'm reading with a lot of, like you said, I look to it for guidance because I know guidance as a mother, guidance as a wife, and then just guidance as a Christian that is looking to be a better Christian, I guess. So,
yeah.
So
Yep. No, that's good. That's good. So we're going to start in James. James is a short, very, very short. I mean, you can read this. You can read James in 10 minutes, probably 20 minutes, whatever. Depends who you are. But it's five chapters is all it is. So we'll buzz through it fairly quick, and go from there. Now, fun fact about James. So I like to when I read a chapter, I'll kind of study the author and all that stuff. James is not the Apostle James. It's the brother of Jesus, is what they think. Is who wrote the book of James. So you may look at that and just assume it's one of the disciple, but this disciple James, but it probably was Jesus' brother, James. James, Jesus' brother, son of Joseph, whatever you want to say, he did not believe in Jesus until after the resurrection, actually. So he was a denier until he saw Jesus after he arose from the dead. And then he actually became a pretty prominent figure in the Christian church after that, growing the Christian church. Same with his brother Jude, was the same exact way. Neither one of them were there for the crucifixion. And then the way it's written is they both came to believe after they saw him after his resurrection. So
that's interesting.
Yep. Pretty crazy. Could you imagine, being Jesus's brother? I would probably be the same as them. I'd probably be like, you're crazy, you know. Like if one of my siblings
or something,
did something like that,
I'm sure there was jealousy and normal sibling stuff too.
Because Mary and Joseph, they had the confirmation from God, or the Holy Spirit, but your siblings would just be like, what the heck?
They have to believe you.
So I'm sure it took a lot of maturing before they could grasp it. I mean, you can't really blame them. I think anybody would be in the same exact boat. And that's what's so it's so weird to think about us in these times and put yourself back in those times. Like, would you have been a Christian back then, or would you have thought this guy was crazy?
Yeah, because it's a lot more. I don't know.
Yeah,
normal.
And I guess if you were seeing him do miracles, and maybe you'd be convinced then for sure, or scared. I don't know. That'd be a scary thing to witness, I think.
Yeah, I think it would be too. I'd be like, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think about that. I think about that a lot, Rosie. But anyway, it's like the. I probably shouldn't bring this up because my YouTube may not like it. But it's like if you lived in Germany in the in World War II, what side would you be on? Kind of thing.
Yeah.
You'd like to think you'd be on the good side, but
right.
Anyway.
Yeah.
All right, let's see here. Excuse me.
Oh, girly.
I know. Get down, Rosie. Boy, what a mess. We got to figure out some of these dogs.
Get down.
So the book of and James writes this book. Get down, girly. Golly. He's writing it to the 12 tribes that's kind of scattered among the nations. So, the 12, if you want to call them lost tribes of Israel that kind of are scattered out, and they're in trouble. They're struggling. These tribes, they're being persecuted for being Christian, and they're really having a hard time. Is who James was writing this about. I don't know. You got anything? You got a bunch. You got some notes there.
Yeah.
You got one right off the bat is what I see. That's what.
Yeah, I just mainly, when I read, I underline things that stick out to me, either that I want to remember and try to practice in my own life, or just that I may want to read again. So I liked it says, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. And then it goes on to talk about how that perseverance is how you become mature and complete and not lacking in anything. And I think sometimes that's hard for us to remember, that it was testing our faith. I don't know, that's a good thing. That's actually a good thing. That's making you stronger, making your faith stronger, and not trying to steer you away from it, but actually to steer you towards it further. So,
yeah, that's what I think. Pastor this morning in church actually was preaching about wisdom. He was talking about the wise men, but his question was, what is wisdom?
How do you define
how do you define wisdom? And the first thing that popped in my head was like, well, the Bible says wisdom is men or women or whatever who trust in God and not the world.
Right. In the face of the perseverance, you should ask God, not turn away.
But
and also kind of along the same lines, just the one who doubts is unstable. Kind of the same thing, that if you're doubting your faith, that you're going to be more unstable than the other way around when you face hard times. So I just liked that. I liked that thought, I guess, that because I am one that I'm an overthinker. I'm a worrier, and that's something I'm constantly trying to remind myself is that worry is not mine. And also just as I learn more and try to deepen my faith, that the doubts are going to be there, but to not have them, because having those doubts is unstable.
Mm-hmm. You want to just read like 2 through 8?
Yes,
I'll let Maddie read because she's a good reader. Listen to this. I have to brag on her for a minute. She read in 2025 105 books.
Yep.
She might have a problem, but and like, what was your? Because I was questioning her on this because I'm like 105. That's
he's like, those are small.
Like,
books.
are you like 40 to 80 page books or something? And I'm like, what's your average page number? It was like 300 and
something. I know something. My most was 500 and something, and my least was like 100.
That's something that I am doing. Sorry, we'll get all kinds of. This is me, but like, I downloaded. And this is her suggestion. So I don't have social media on my phone anymore.
Well, I say cut in. One of my resolutions from last year was to read more books.
Yeah, and she definitely. I feel like you should resolve this year to read less books.
Yeah. Well, I did it in a way that, and so instead of like, if I get on my phone, instead of opening a social media app, if I open my reading app, that will keep me off of social media.
I just wondered like how much time we spend on social media, because it's going to be interesting for me, because I downloaded the Kindle app
a lot because I read 105 books
in a time. And instead of like even this. And it's hard for me to read a book. Like I do it, but I don't, I got ADD real bad. So, but like instead of this Kindle app, it looks like this. It's just like a book. It kind of blacks your screen out and you got the words on it there. So instead of, when you're scrolling for 10 minutes, just read for 10 minutes. So that's what I've been doing. I'm like halfway through a book already and it's been 4 days. Yeah. So, that's going to be a good thing, I think. I already feel better, honestly. And I've also like quit drinking so much caffeine too. That's made me feel better. I'm over the hump now of the downturn of it, but
I haven't started that this year. But
well, I drink coffee, but I was drinking energy drinks and I stopped doing those.
Yeah.
I stopped those before Christmas actually, but anyway. Okay, sorry. Read 2 to 8 real quick.
Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Let perseverance finish its work, so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything. If any of you lacks wisdom, you should ask God, who gives generously to all without finding fault, and it will be given to you. But when you ask, you must believe and not doubt, because the one who doubts is like a wave of the sea, blown and tossed by the wind. That person should not expect to receive anything from the Lord. Such a person is double-minded and unstable in all they do.
So that's something that I wrote down here is like, whenever you ask for wisdom, you should have like no doubt. And I would just wonder like how often we doubt God.
Even while asking for
because like, even if you don't think you are you subconsciously doubting him? Like, and how powerful is it if you can have like no doubt,
Yeah.
Because what does that even mean? What does no doubt at all mean? Because we all have doubts about certain things we hear or read, and you're always questioning your faith. And it's like, what happens whenever that goes away? Even if it's even possible to go away as a human, I don't know. And then something else I wrote down here. I think we oftentimes like think of being a Christian as like this awesome thing that is going to like fix all of our problems. And it's like
quite the opposite.
Well, it can be, you know, I think it fixes a lot of problems, or maybe it fixes a lot of mindsets, but like you're still not going to be, you're not going to have a perfect life just because you're reading your Bible. You know, your trials are going to be guaranteed, especially if you are unapologetically Christian, you know, like if that's what you're really truly about, like you're going to ruffle feathers in your family, and just in
going to
general,
be put in some uncomfortable
situations that are uncomfortable for others, and
you're going to want to remove yourself from uncomfortable situations, which then makes that uncomfortable.
Yep. But all these trials and uncomfortable things that we go through, and it may be just things you get thrown. We have a lady at Brianna. She started a podcast about it, but it's one of our like family friends. She has a couple of little boys. She got some rare disease that her brain, I don't know exactly what happened, but her brain quit talking to her lungs. So it's like she couldn't breathe anymore. They got it figured out, but it took tons of money and tons of medicine and whatnot. But like, you know, that's something that, you know, God put her through, and it's a trial that she had, but that God doesn't put you through trials, you know, for no reason at all. It's going to be for some reason to make you stronger. And I think that's what we had to look at. Like, why does God do these things to certain good people? You know, it's like, well, he's molding you for something, you know, in the future, whether that be something big or something small, you know?
I know for sure. One of the big turns in my life, I guess, or even in my, whatever you want to say, my journey with my faith, was once I maybe understood and reminded myself that God has a plan, and it is his plan. Again, I said, I am a planner, I'm an overthinker, so I struggle with that. But once I could tell myself that anytime I was going through something hard, I reminded myself, God has a plan, and I'm not going to know what that is, and I have to be okay with that. Yeah. And that honestly has helped me through a lot of hard things in life.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And has made it, I mean, like you said, doesn't guarantee that you're not going to have trials and things, but it made me understand maybe them better, and just made me feel better about it.
Yeah. So. And then I put here, God isn't against you, but working on you. So.
Yep. I was going to say it, and I feel like it made me stronger. So.
Mm-hmm. I think something else that like we oftentimes like ask God to be like, you know, take this away from me, or I don't know, whatever you however you pray, like you're asking him specifically for like relief from whatever struggles you have. But, you know, it might be better to ask him for wisdom to navigate those struggles, you know, and that's probably what he's doing for you, is you're growing in wisdom to get through things. And that's kind of that's what that first section of James is about. It's at least in the NIV, we both are reading the NIV Bible right now, but trials and temptations is what the
title is.
The title of the first section there.
And I liked it.
Yep. And, you know, wisdom, it helps you, you know, endure, not just like survive something. So like if God just every time you got in trouble, he just fixed it for you every time, you know, it'd be like, it's just no different than your child. If you, every time they got in trouble, you just fixed everything for them. They would learn nothing. They wouldn't learn anything. And then they, you know, wouldn't be better off in the end of it. I'm reading my notes. I put down here, doubt means trusting in yourself, not God. I don't know why I put that there, but
or back and forth. Yeah. Oh, because when you have doubts, it's because you're trying to trust in yourself to figure out whatever it is, instead of trusting in God that it is going to go the way it needs to go, maybe.
Yep. You've had like more trials than I have in life, for sure.
I mean, it depends on how you look at it and who you are.
Mostly your mom passing away when you were young.
Yeah.
That was.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I haven't had anything, I guess, that I felt like maybe I have, and I just dealt with it well. But any real dramatic things happen. So I always, you know, not I don't know if jealous is the right word, because it's definitely not the right, not the how I feel, but like I'm always proud of people that have been through stuff like that and like come out better. I'm always like, wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
It's not cool that those things happen. I don't want to like, that's what I'm trying to say, but like, I admire people that can deal with those things well, or that have in the past, I guess. Yeah. And we all are going to have them. Like, one of us is, eventually in life, something bad's going to happen. It's just a matter of time. So
yeah, that's just life.
Yeah. You're going to have to figure out how to deal with it. You got anything else in that section at all?
In the trials and temptations, I do. There was what I called good imagery I really liked. And again, this is just for, like, in my mind, it made me think of like the little things that come up, kind of your daily things that you think aren't that big of a deal, aren't that bad.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of why you should start to try to redirect those when they're small. So it says, then after desire has conceived, it gives birth to sin, and sin, when it is full grown, gives birth to death. So it kind of just shows you how one small desire that you give into can turn into kind of your death, and and I guess technically your physical death, that could be it too, but I'm thinking of your death to God, your death to your faith, kind of just giving into the devil. So that's just a reminder for me, like anytime those small things come up, I was like, this is when I need to, when you notice it and you're thinking, oh, this probably isn't the most Christian thing. This isn't maybe the best thing I could be doing right now.
Yeah. And that's in 13 through 15-ish.
It's so 15. Like, yep, verse 15.
Yeah, and that's I guess that's what I wrote down for that section. Is I was talking about those first.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. God doesn't tempt us; it comes from us. Those temptations do.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of a roadmap for sin, almost like it's like an outline for sin in there. It's like 1 is desire, something pulls us. 2 is enticement. We dwell on it, so we think about what we want a lot, or what we desire, and then we eventually give into it. And we act on it, and then we have spiritual death and damage from that. So, and I think about this a lot too. Like, what's the difference between a Christian sinning and someone else that doesn't believe in as a Christian? What's the difference? What do you think?
Like guilt, probably. Like in your mind, you see it as a sin. You know that you're sinning, or that you feel guilty for doing it, and the other person doesn't even think about it.
Yeah, I think it's about your heart, like your you do something that you shouldn't have done, thought about something you shouldn't have thought about, got mad at someone you shouldn't have got mad about, and then almost immediately you're like, dang it, man, here I am again. So,
yep.
But I don't know. I mean, you don't have to necessarily be a Christian to have those feelings, though.
No, but I think you would probably be more apt to have them.
Maybe.
Or notice them, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's a good one. Derek said the difference is you have been forgiven. That's a good point. Yep. Yeah, I was just thinking about the more of, I guess, just the feeling of sin. Like, what do people that aren't, like, because I've never been not a Christian. Like, I grew up with it, so it's like, what do people that don't believe? Like, I guess it's just the law to them. Like, it's I guess some kind of moral compass that they think they came up with in their head.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you have a feeling just in like that that you're like, this is not good, but I
but I mean, anyway. I just wonder what people think where people think that comes from, I guess.
Yeah. Like why
yeah.
I get what you're saying now. Yeah, that's, I don't know.
Yeah. I'm gonna go back here and make sure I didn't miss anything.
Some people may just not think about it at all.
Yeah, I assume so. All right. Read 9 through 11 real quick.
Okay. Believers in humble circumstances ought to take pride in their high position, but the rich should take pride in their humiliation, since they will pass away like a wildflower. For the sun rises with scorching heat and withers the plant. Its blossom falls and its beauty is destroyed. In the same way, the rich will fade away even while they go about their business.
I think a lot of times the Bible can feel like it's like criticizing people that have a lot of money.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's the intent of it. I think like it's just about if you get obsessed with it to where it's a big problem where, that's all you think about is how much money you can make and how,
that's your guiding factor.
Yeah, exactly. And I think the Bible does a good job at knowing that is a human problem, because so much of our world revolves around money. Yeah. I mean, it really does.
Yeah.
Whether we, want it to or not, it is what it is.
Case in point, Christmas just came around and how
many
extravagant
thousands of dollars,
everything is and how many,
Yeah.
It's every year, just being the mom, I get right up to Christmas and I think, did I get enough? Did I do enough?
Yeah.
Is it enough? And it's terrible.
It is.
And it's always enough. What I do, no matter how little or how much, it's always enough. But it's just because you see it everywhere. Everyone's doing all this.
It's a culture thing too, because it wasn't always like this.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, my grandparent, like if you go over to my grandma's, like I remember going to my grandma's house when I was little, and like we had like Lincoln logs, some like Lego blocks, like Mega Block type things. And that was about it.
Yeah, that's what my grandma, she had like 2 of those tractors. We had like wooden blocks.
Yeah.
And then you could play with her. She had this really nice chess set, like a stone chess set, and you could play with that. But that was more decor.
I don't know, somewhere along the lines that like the consumer, consumerism really amped up in the United States, at least. And it's crazy how much money we spend now on stuff. I mean, well, we're guilty of it too. Our house is full of junk.
Oh yeah. Well, and I think that's part of kind of what you said earlier, like trying to be I don't remember how you worded it, but kind of trying to be a confident, I guess, Christian in this world. Is part of that is to not obsess over material things, and us trying to do that, then it's hard for me to then remember, like, no, we're not supposed to want all of these things. And then trying to teach that to our kids has been tricky as well. Especially we have a kid that loves things, like for whatever reason.
Yeah, Huck really likes his things. Like
no matter how little or junky or whatever, he just likes his things. And trying to get him to understand that, like, that's not what life's about. And it's like, I don't know, it's tough, but so anyway.
Yeah. All right, go ahead from, I think 12 is where we're at.
Blessed is the one who perseveres under trial, because, having stood the test, that person will receive the crown of life that the Lord has promised to those who love him. When tempted, no one should say, God is tempting me. For God cannot be tempted by evil, nor does he tempt anyone. But each person is tempted when they are dragged away by their own evil desire and enticed. Then, after desire has conceived, it gives birth to sin, and sin, when it is full grown, gives birth to death.
Yep. Okay, stop right there.
Yeah. So we talked about earlier.
Yeah. So at 12, I have a note down saying, faith that lasts is faith that is real. So God rewards those who have persevered in him. Yeah, it's just a little bit about what we talked about earlier about God testing you. God's not testing you. He's working on you, and if you have faith in him and use him to get through your tough times and ask him for the right wisdom, you'll come out more polished. Mm-hmm. Even though it doesn't, feel like it.
At the time, yeah.
Yeah. I think about every time you hear that old cliche saying, like, you're probably better off, than you were before, or whatever. Like, you lose your job, and then for some reason that's what's supposed to happen because a better opportunity came about, or I think that's the typical one you hear about people. You get so stressed about your job that you have.
When one door closes, another door
Yeah.
opens. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that has to do with money again, because usually we all have to have money because we have bills and stuff. So if you lose your job, that's probably what we're mostly worried about is, we don't have money coming in anymore. And you do, I guess you do have to. I mean, you for sure do. I think we
have to believe that he will provide.
Yeah, but I think we put a lot of that stress on us, like kind of with the problems that we have with consumerism now.
There are some unnecessary needs that people perceive.
now that our needs, everything's more expensive now. Insurance is more expensive, healthcare is more expensive. We all have internet bills now. We got phone bills. Like this is all stuff that my grandparents didn't have.
Right. Just more stuff.
And then all that stuff takes up more electricity, so everybody's electric bills are higher. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
But such is life, I guess.
Yeah. It's almost like I was thinking this. We told you we went and stayed at Great Wolf Lodge, and their TV, it's just like cable.
Just cable.
I guess.
Yeah. Like there was two kids channels on it.
Yeah.
Nick and Disney.
Which was like frustrating to our kids that are used to just being like, I want to watch this specific show, and you find it. But I'm like, I preferred it because now I'm at home and I'm like, okay, which streaming service is it on? And then I go, oh, you got to rent it, but I'm already subscribed. Like, especially like with Christmas movies over the season, it's like, where can I watch it? And where is it free? Where do I have to rent it? And I'm like, I should have just kept all those movies I had back in the day, and then we could have watched them whenever we wanted. But it's too much, too many things.
I've seen parents now that are doing like the 90s tech. Have you seen that? Where they get rid of everything. You get like a DVD player
and a
stack
of DVDs,
or VHS, whatever they were back then, I guess. Yeah. And just do that. I mean, we have Paramount, Netflix. That's it, though, I think.
Yeah, YouTube.
Yeah, but YouTube's not as free.
Right. So
we don't do too bad. I don't know. I think Netflix is like $15 now, and $9 or for Paramount. But Paramount will go. We don't keep it very often. But
my thing is that it's not even so much that each of them that they cost. It's just that you have to have all these different ones just to have.
Yeah.
Whatever. Who needs TV anyway?
Yeah, me and her don't watch. I mean, we don't watch much TV.
No.
Hayes doesn't seem to care too much about TV either. He's not as.
He's getting into a little bit, but.
Yeah. Huck likes to watch some shows though. But
anyway.
Yeah.
We can move on.
Yeah. All right. Let's read that last. That's from 16 to the end, 18.
Don't be deceived, my dear brothers and sisters. Every good and perfect gift is from above, coming down from the Father of the heavenly lights, who does not change like shifting shadows. He chose to give us birth through the word of truth, that we might be a kind of firstfruits of all he created. So that makes me think of, if you don't mind me kind of going on a little longer story.
I only got one short note on that. So
no, I don't actually have any notes in that other than I feel like everyone knows every good and perfect gift is from above, but like that, just that scripture. So I went to a women's retreat this fall, and actually that's where I got this shirt from. But anyway, and there was a speaker there. I wasn't expecting to talk about this, so I don't have all her information. Anyways, she teaches, so she's obviously very knowledgeable, teaches theology, very knowledgeable on the Bible, and she has really, really great insight on the the translations. So that was it, really interesting. But one of the things, like I said, I don't have a lot of knowledge of the Bible or like great background, and she said something that, like, I feel like she probably maybe is well known, but it just the way she said it, it just like was like, oh, duh. And it just like made sense for me. So she listed out like the 5, or in a roundabout way, the 5 characteristics of God and what those were. And then it's like, that is what you are trying to be like, because he created us in his image, and that is his image, those 5 things. So I have them listed and I can read them.
Go for it.
I put them in the front of my Bible. So God is compassionate, gracious, slow to anger, has steadfast love, and faithful. And that helped me, what I was talking about earlier, in that I look at my Bible for guidance, how to be the wife, the mother, the daughter, the child of God that I want to be, because I'm like, I need guidance, I guess. What does that mean? Mm-hmm. Well, now it just like was like, oh, that's what I need to work on. That's what I want to try to be. I want to be more compassionate. Well, I want to be slow to anger. I want to be more gracious. Those are the things that I'm trying to get out of.
But you're kind of wording it wrong. It's not what you want to be. It's what God wants you to be.
Well, yes, but that's what I mean is he created us in his image, and that is his image. So that's what I'm working towards as a Christian. Mm-hmm. That's what I mean is like, why?
Because we're all going to
why behind it. Why behind.
Yeah, we're going to want to do things that God doesn't approve of. Though,
right. You know? Right. I just that was just helped me, and that just made me think of the every good and perfect gift is from above, and who does not change, like shifting shadows. So he is, he's loyal, he's steadfast. So, anyway.
Yeah. Do we want to do more, or do we want to stop right there? I was just going to do that first section tonight, so I guess we could let's read listening and doing, because then we'll just have the one chapter then done.
I say I've read.
Go ahead on 19 then. Go ahead and
okay. Listening and doing. This is the next section, I guess. My dear brothers and sisters, take note of this. Everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry. I have that one underlined.
Yep.
Because human anger does not produce the righteousness that God desires. Therefore, get rid of all moral filth and the evil that is so prevalent, and humbly accept the word planted in you, which can save you.
Okay, stop for a minute.
Okay.
That is something that I feel like I need to be like with Huck. Hayes is he's just.
I think with parenthood, with kids.
Yeah. But I'm more patient with Hayes because he's 2, and I just realized that. But like Huck, I feel like sometimes I get a little bit too snappy with him, where I'm like,
because he's still only 6. Like 6 years is still.
Mm-hmm. But in my mind, I'm like, he should know better,
right?
And I get overly frustrated with little things that 6-year-olds do, like takes his clothes off in the middle of the living room and leaves them there, like stuff like that, And also something that's, I don't know, you guys can't see my office, but it's as organized and as clean as it ever has been, and like that's one thing I'm doing better at is like I want to get organized and have all my stuff. Have a place for it, because that'll show Huck a better job of like, this is how you respect your house. This is how you respect your mom and dad, is to keep your things neat and organized so that mom and dad don't have to do it for you. Or his future wife or whatever.
What makes that easier? Having less stuff.
Hey, so having less stuff. Exactly.
Less stuff is easier to keep maintained, organized, and it will, it won't break. It won't get ruined. Yeah.
And I'm very I'm not good. I mean, I'm weird because I'm not good at cleaning up and stuff all the time, but it also drives me crazy that I'm not that way. Like I hate a dirty house. Maddie knows this.
Yeah.
Like,
but
I have, I don't know, just issues, ADD or something that I can't control. So I get on to one project and I'm on to the next project and I forget about this one for a while, but that's what I'm trying to work on. So, right now I'm in a pretty good place with it, but it's something I have to practice. And I get mad at Huck for it, and then I come into my office and I got stuff laying out. And I'm like, okay, well, what's he looking at?
You know, you have to model the expectations that you have in them. Yeah, because they're gonna.
Yeah. All right.
They're 22. Gonna see before they're gonna listen.
Yep, 22. Go ahead.
Do not merely listen to the word and so deceive yourselves. Do what it says. Anyone who listens to the word but does not do what it says is like someone who looks at his face in a mirror and after looking at himself goes away and immediately forgets what he looks like. But whoever looks intently into the perfect law that gives freedom and continues in it, not forgetting what they have heard but doing it, they will be blessed in what they do. So that's what I was talking about earlier, how I come here to learn and to get guidance on what I should be doing, on, how I should be living in the image of God. And that's what I like this a lot. Like, well, and I like that we're doing that. Like, I guess that kind of is a sum up of why we wanted to do this podcast, because we're not just reading the words, we're wanting to act on them.
Yeah.
I think talking about them and seeing how they can apply to your life.
At least for anybody, that's like, James is a book that nobody really talks about much, and I think it's a really good book. So that's why I wanted to do the Bible study about it.
Yeah. So far, I've really enjoyed it.
Yep. I've read it before, but I was rereading it, and I was like, yeah, there's a lot of good stuff in here.
Yeah, it's very straightforward too, and that may be our version as well. But also, it's good guidance in life.
Go ahead and finish it off there.
Okay. Sorry, turn the page back.
That's all right.
Those who consider themselves religious and yet do not keep a tight rein on their tongues deceives themselves, and their religion is worthless. Religion that God our Father accepts as pure and faultless is this: to look after orphans and widows in their distress and to keep oneself from being polluted by the world. I think underlined polluted by the world.
I think, I think 26, that's something that the world struggles with these days. Like,
yeah.
So
I would agree.
Because there's a lot of, I don't know. I mean, and we're all guilty of it, but like a lot of go to church on Sunday and then don't think about it the rest of the week, and
yeah, but I'm thinking not only that, but those that want to, especially in this social media world, they want to get on there and put this big thing about, how to be Christians or whatever, and then they act a totally different way in person, or you know what I mean? So it's like not acting out the words.
Yeah, and I think this is I think we'll get into it later, but like James talks a lot about actions in this book. And I think a lot of times we get into our heads that we're all going to go to heaven because we believe in Jesus. And
that's a good point, yeah.
But like, if you actually believed in him and do what he says, you're going to do good actions. So like, I think that's kind of you are what you produce, or your fruits will show you how you live. And I think that's kind of what James is about, is like, how we should act as Christians, because we're being more like Jesus and less like ourselves.
Again, probably why I'll enjoy it, because that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Is guidance, just as what I consider a new Christian. I don't know. I'm not new, but just, I guess maybe new to
a serious
the Bible.
one. A one that's not just going to church on Sunday and being done with it.
Right.
After that. So.
Well, and wanting to become more confident so that I can then feel more confident spreading the word.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that is what God wants us to do as well.
Yeah. I had a conversation about Jesus with someone in Goodwill the other day. Do you know that?
Yeah, I heard.
We were talking about the Lord's Prayer randomly.
Yeah.
She was a Christian. We were just, I can't remember what we were talking about.
She was,
the boy.
She commented on the boys. Sweet. I think.
You were looking around, and I was just wrangling the boys. They were riding scooters around Goodwill.
Yeah.
And the lady started talking about just how good acting they were or something. And then she's like, do you know the Lord's Prayer? Or she said, are you a Bible reader? I'm like, well, yeah, I am. And then she got to talking about the Lord's Prayer.
That was probably her trying to plant a seed.
Yeah. And then
you're like,
she's
no, I actually am.
Yeah. Well, good for her. I think that's something we all could do a better job of,
Yeah.
Even like, and it's easy to do it with strangers, but it's hard to do it with people in your life.
Yes.
It really is. And we all have those people, know.
Even, this may sound crazy too, because I've known you since I was 15, but even just getting comfortable talking about God and faith and our relationship, like it's taken me a while to be like comfortable and not sound silly. Like I said, because I'm not, we kind of had different backgrounds growing up. Like I'm not as comfortable maybe or confident, like because I don't feel like I know enough. I'm learning that that's not necessarily the case. I know more than what I realized. I didn't know it, I guess. And also that you don't need to know a lot to talk about it and ask questions. And like, that's good because you're curious. Like, that's good.
Yeah.
So and it's probably because you don't want to sound silly or sound.
Yeah. But I think most people are in that boat. I mean, this book is a very complicated thing, that you can look into and pretty deeply. Anyway, all right. I'll say a prayer before we get off here, and then we'll get off here. God, thank you for this day, and thank you for this community we have. Thank you for these words you gave us today. Please help us take those and apply those to our lives and become more like you and less like ourselves. Let everybody have a great week this week, and keep them close to you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
All right, everybody. Thanks for getting on tonight. Hit the subscribe button, and we'll talk at you later. Give us some feedback. Bye.
Thanks, guys.